It is 5:30 a.m. and I'm up with the baby. Good morning, Frugal friends. There are so many of these little habits my 3 kids and I use to save money in a day, and I just wanted to walk you through some of them, starting with me glamorously stocking the diaper station. Now, I know some of you think disposables are a huge waste of money, and yes, they can be, however, and I plan on going into all of this math in a future video, but we only buy the Walmart generic brand of diapers, and because electricity and water to wash cloth diapers does cost money, we wouldn't even save $10 a month. So disposable Walmarts is what this busy mom is using. Next up, of course, is coffee and my DIY cocoa mix. We make it at home, and I use roughly 2 parts powdered sugar, 1 part baking cocoa in my mix, and stir it all up, and that's what I'm using in a day. This is also not going to be one of those day in a life where you've got my extensive skincare regimen. I just keep my hairdos simple, my skincare basically non-existent, and we're on to breakfast. Breakfasts are pretty simple at our house too. It's usually oatmeal.
These things for. I am attempting a day in the life video. You got the title. How'd you guess?
Waffles that we make at home, pancakes that we make at home, eggs is usually what's on the docket for the day. We try to get a walk in pretty much every day, but today was really cold, so it was quite a short walk. But we do really like getting outside as much as we can. We're trying the 1,000 hours outside challenge with me and the kids this year, and it's going pretty well so far. But when it's this cold out, I'm not forcing anybody to go outside. So instead, we stayed in and I started baking bread before I had to put the baby down for his nap. I have gotten so many comments over the last couple months of people asking for my bread recipe. So here it is, guys. And I don't always follow this exact recipe. Sometimes I'm just going with my gut and basing on texture, what I'm touching the bread and seeing what it needs. Where I start is always with my kitchen scale because I like the accuracy it offers. I use 1,000 grams of flour, 600 grams of water heated up to about 100 degrees, which is why I'm using my little tea kettle because it uses less electricity when you heat water with the little tea kettle than it would if I used it on the stove or in the microwave. And I'll mix together that water and 30 grams of active yeast. And once that's all nice and bubbly and active, I'm gonna put the water and the flour and the 20 grams of salt. And then today I decided to also add about 1 tablespoon of honey and 2 tablespoons of butter just for a little extra flavor. Mix it all up together, let my stand mixer do the work.
You wanna see it spinning? Okay.
Once I've done a window pane test to say, yep, this is exactly the consistency I need, I'm gonna pop a wet tea towel on top of it and just let it start proving in my warm oven with the pilot light on. Is that what you call it? Probably not the pilot light. Whatever the little light is inside the oven, whatever you call it. And then we're moving on with the day. We like listening to audiobooks when we're out doing errands. We happen to have a lot of audiobooks in the car currently from our library, and we're going to pick up our groceries.
It was pretty good haul. These are just for the pantry. We're not actually gonna eat these ourselves. Some flavor extras. We have coupons, frozen vegetables, fruits, vegetables, a little bit of pepperoni that I'm going to store in the freezer and only take out what we need when we're making like pizzas or something. We're not actually going to use it for sandwiches. Milk. We had some sliced ones were on sale instead of the whole ones. Extra bits for Taco Tuesday and Asian night. A whole mess of bananas. And then we make our pizza with hummus instead of sauce. And Taco Tuesday. Yeah, good haul. And what was the total? The grand total for everything, including some things for the food pantry, was $71.72. And we've got some birthdays coming up this month and Easter's coming up, so there was a coupon for cake mix. Now, I can make homemade cake mix, but geez, sometimes the convenience for $1, I will take that.
I make sure if we do get paper bags from the grocery store, they go into my pile of paper products that I store for gardening in the year. If I need to tamp down on any weeds, I use cardboard that I've saved throughout the year, so that's where that goes. We are doing a garden project today. I like doing a couple money-saving projects each week, and this week we're going to be starting some spinach and lettuce seeds in our little milk jugs that I've been saving. And luckily, this is a project that the kids can help with. They really like helping me in the garden. And then roughly 2 hours later, I'm coming to check on my bread to see how well it's puffed up and proved, and it is ready to go. I'm gonna have to shape it.
that was nice. I was just out emptying the compost and finishing up the little seedling project, and I got a phone call. We really like supporting local charities if we can. There was a local school was doing a raffle, so we're like, sure, we'll buy a few tickets to support them. And I got a phone call that we won a $75 gift certificate to a lobster pound in the area. So I think we might get lobster tonight.
And today, just because I'm doing this day in a life video, and even if my kids' voices or their like hands or their outlines get caught on camera briefly, I don't like my kids being on camera. I want to have privacy for them and all of that. So you're not going to see them here at the counter with me while I'm doing this dough shaping and everything, but usually they would be hanging out next to me and asking for a piece of dough that they can do all of the kneading with on their own and shaping it into a ball or sticking a Lego guy in and pretending he's drowning in quicksand. I don't know what they do. They like having fun with me. And I like having them there, even if they get flour everywhere. It's a nice time that we can be together and they can be learning. And so all I'm doing right here is the last step before it goes into the oven is it needs a second rise. I'm just putting it in, I'm trying two different things this time. I put one of my bread loaves, half of this batch, into the Dutch oven to proof. And then the other one is I'm going to just put a wet tea towel on that cookie sheet and make it more like a baguette shape. And so I'm making sure that I have these set to rise right before we leave the house a second time to go in the opposite direction and make sure I pick up a couple lost leader sales at the other grocery store and we go to the library. So I try to batch my errands as much as I can on different days as I work around nap schedules and things like the bread rising schedule.
I had a really good haul. We just came back from the library and the post office, which I got for the first time. I got a postcard from a viewer who lives in like the Erie Canal area, so thank you, Kim, that was so sweet. And we went to Shaw's, or our grocery store, because they had some amazing lost leader sales. So I got 11 pounds of corned beef, I got 6 pounds of ground beef that's individually wrapped in 1 pound baggies, and I got 2 giant heads of cabbage. Lost leader sales for St. Patrick's Day, and so all of that, so what is that, 6 plus 11, so 17 pounds of meat and 2 heads of cabbage for, you see that, $32.23, so not too bad.
And then when we get home from those errands, I have to bounce the baby back to sleep again. I actually enjoy it more than I'm showing in this. Once I put the bread in the oven and take it out, I'm not super happy with the rise this time, but it doesn't matter because it tasted amazing. By this point in the day, I'm starting to get a little worn out with the baby taking his nap, and my 2 big kids are having a little rest time in the living room. Anyone who says that frugal living is painless and effortless is lying to you. It is work, but I find that it is work I very much enjoy doing and will continue to do because it's very rewarding. By that point in the day, kids are getting hangry, and I just wasn't interested or willing to film all of the rest of the day. But the last thing I'll mention is that a couple times a week I'm going to be doing a check on Facebook Marketplace for a few items on my to hunt for list. This doesn't take me any more than 2 or 3 minutes if I don't get distracted, which sometimes I do. And my goal today was looking for shoes. And you know what? I didn't find any on Marketplace. I was looking for kids' shoes because my kids, you know, they grow. And you have to check kind of frequently, and sometimes you hit and sometimes you miss, and today it was a miss, but that is okay, friends, because as you know, if you try frequently enough and make sure you manage your time so you're not distracted a whole bunch, you ended up getting hits. And when I get hits, that's when I tell you, oh, I saved money in a month. And so hopefully I will have some hits to share with you again in a future video. So if you like this kind of video where I'm talking about the mom hacks I'm getting done in a day, I'd really love if you let me know, because I don't see a lot of information about on YouTube, and I really want to make more videos like this, but only if it's actually going to be beneficial to people. So let me know, and I will see you all next week. Bye, YouTube.
I need to go to bed.